All right, good morning, Checkmate crew. It's 30 minutes after the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange, 10 a.m. Eastern Time on this Thursday, January 26, 2023. Mickey Blindside here with your market memo. I hope everybody's doing well. The markets. Yesterday, wow, what a reversal, guys. Remember yesterday, I don't know if during the market memo we saw that big drawdown. Yeah, actually we did. We were watching, we saw the market drop about 40 points, so about, 1.5% intraday, and then it just rallied all the way to basically break even, less than a point away from where it closed the previous day. And now we just gapped up. And wouldn't it be something if we just closed right at that level as well too? Interesting. So we're seeing pretty much, all right, if that happens, so to speak, that means we would have been on a closing basis in a very, very tight range, like basically flat for the last 1, 2, 3, 4 days, okay? And at the same time, all right. And at the same time, we're actually seeing the VIX coming down. The VIX 9-day, however, I believe is a different story. The VIX 9-day is up. Okay. So we're seeing short-term hedging. All right. We're seeing that short-term hedging. It is earnings week. We just had Microsoft on Tuesday. Next week, we've got Apple. We've got Amazon, we got Google, so the other generals are, especially in tech, are going to be reporting next week, and it could be hedging for that. It could also be hedging for FOMC as well next week on Wednesday, okay, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So we've got some short-term potential risk events. Who knows what Papa Powell will say. It seems as if everybody who thinks that Jerome Powell is going to cut interest rates by the end of the year, and everybody's pricing in a recession. We shall see. Okay, I don't know that. All right, and it'll be interesting to see what the bond market's reaction will be next week for that. Okay, what else? Australian dollar. I mean, need I say more? Look at this. Just rallying hard. I mean, the last few sessions especially, it just went from, 0.69 to 7,102. I don't know if you guys, it may not seem like much to you guys, but for a currency, that is huge, okay? That is a huge move, all right? And, I told you guys the reason why I look at the Australian dollar is because I'm looking at China, all right, and Chinese stocks, especially the Hang Seng Index. Let's go to futures. The Hang Seng Index, is just rallying really, really hard. And so I think right now, I believe the rally from the bottom, I think this is like what, 50%? Yeah, 54%. So nobody catches the exact bottom, but if you caught this retest, this. For me, this just wasn't a big enough of a pullback. Now, in hindsight, I should have went in, but at the time, I thought, it might come back a little bit more. But even if you got in then on the first kind of pullback, you're still up 41%. That is an outrageous move. We were trying to get into ZTO, but yeah, that's not going to happen. And right here, it was that during that dip, and I said, ooh, it might get under 20. I was like, ooh, I need to get it under 20, and I should have just chased because look at that. Even if I had gone in here at 22.50, let's say, that would have been a good 20% or so, more even. But oh well, that's life. That is life. All right. It is what it is. Speaking of which, I also well, we're on Australian dollar. Let's get to metals first, and then we'll go to the new trades that I placed. But with the Australian dollar going up, we have been seeing some strength in the metals, especially gold and silver and such. It is paring back just a little bit, but as the Australian dollar went up, we saw gold go up. Copper also went up as well too. GDX, all those miners we were looking at also went up. It is pulling back just a bit, and I do wish that it pulls back significantly enough where we can get in for a long, all right? And I am looking more toward SILJ. I do want to get into the silver miners. I mean, if it gets to around $10, I mean, I know $10 from 1161. Is it possible? I mean, it is possible. I mean, if the dollar surges in the next couple of months, if something happens, it is definitely possible. But I do have some orders there for SILJ. Also, I'm taking a look at, in trading view, you have to specify which gold you're looking at. Barrick Gold, which is a stock traded on the New York Stock Exchange. It's a gold miner. I'm also looking to get into that one as well too. Okay, whichever gives me the bigger pullback, either SILJ or Barrick Gold, ticker symbol GOLD, one or the other. I really want to get into one or the other. Those have very good options market. They have very, very deep markets. So it would be ideal if I can get into one of those, if I can get enough of a pullback. But we shall see. This Australian dollar strength, I don't know. It would have to, the Australian dollar would really have to pull back. It would really, it would really, really, really would have to pull back. Okay. I don't know if we're going to get that. Okay. It would have to pull back around here, actually. But it's been so strong. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be pulling back all that much with China reopening and everything, which we also correctly predicted back around October based on the Australian dollar. This is a very good leading indicator for China because China buys all their natural resources from, well, not all, but most of their, a big portion of their natural resources gets bought in Australia. So whenever industrial output is expected to increase, we start seeing a demand for the Australian dollar. So that's where that phenomena comes from. Okay, so enough of that. I did enter a new trade, CSX. All right, we talked about this yesterday. Their earnings came out. It wasn't all that bad. Actually, it was pretty good, but looks like we're in a little bit of a drawdown now. So yeah, I will wait for closing prices. If today and tomorrow it closes under this level right here, all right, 30.73. So that's actually a pretty big drawdown. Not sure why that's happening, but okay. But anyway, if it closes below this for the week by tomorrow, I'm out. Okay, I'm out. So either we're going to see this come back into its range and bust out of its range to the upside, or it's going to close under this line. And what I'm going to do is just bow out for a small loss. It is what it is. Let me show you guys so that you guys... Yep, see that? January 2025, the 30 calls. I got it at 550. We'll see what happens. We got 2 years on that, and this is going to be a poor man's covered call writing candidate. I just need it to pop first before it goes. We shall see. It is the day after earnings, so maybe this is a impulse move, and then we might recover. We will see. Again, if it doesn't recover by end of the week, I'm out. Okay, I'm out. So that is my new CSX trade. It's a fairly small position. So I'm not really all that too worried about this. Next is crypto. Okay, so guys, we're starting to see the crypto market gaining some options activity. All right. So let's take a look at that. I just want to take a look at the open interest and such, and see what's going on there. So if we look at ETH right now, it looks like Were there some big block trades? We're starting to see some bigger block trades actually happening in ETH as well. Look at that. Yeah, we are 1014 calls and puts. Buying a call and a put for February 2023. So that's this is a straddle right here. Well, that's not that big of a trade, but you know, we're looking more for here 1004 or 207. 1004 or 207. It doesn't look like that has a spread to it. Or maybe that one. 100403. Yeah. So this one was paired with the one. So this one is a buy June 2000 calls. Buy June 2000 calls. And this is buy June 1000 put. So that's a strangle. Interesting. So we're seeing people betting on volatility. Okay, it looks like people are betting on volatility for ETH, at least for the last 24 hours. We saw something like that actually in Bitcoin. We saw the opposite. We saw a strangle being sold yesterday, if I recall correctly. And it doesn't look like there's any that big. Oh, well, block trades. Let's actually take a look. Block trades. Oh, whoa, look at that. We're seeing some bigger transactions now. Yeah, it looks like we're seeing some bigger transactions happening. So this all 100624, 100624, 2000. So what is that? Buy, sell, buy, sell. So they sold. It looks like somebody sold a call credit spread. Okay, which is mildly bearish. Okay, mildly bearish position. It looks like there's another spread here. Sell by buying at 23,000 calls. Buying 23,000 calls. And selling 20. That's more. More of the same. So this is probably just one. But they split up their purchases. That's very interesting. So they're selling call spreads and saying that it's not going to go up much further and shorting volatility and having a mildly bearish position at the same time in Bitcoin. Interesting. All right. Let's take a look at the OIs. I'm not sure if the OIs have increased or not. We will take a look at that. I know in a couple hours ago when I checked, it didn't really seem as if all the OIs were going up, but we shall see. Oops. Did I just go back to the same site? Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I just had this, but I know Deribit, sometimes it crashes the site. So give me 1 second here. So yeah, you know, we're seeing block trades coming back into Ethereum and in Bitcoin, which is interesting too, because I think there is the Shanghai update coming up in Ethereum. So are we going to see something like a run up in open interest like we did right before the ETH merge? Not sure. I don't know if this is also just overall risk taking, because, you know, also too, if you notice, our junk bonds advanced decline line has been increasing. It's actually been increasing this whole week. So, you know, and I've had that thesis this whole time where I believe that the crypto market is very much in line with the junk bonds market. And I think it's because a lot of crypto companies and crypto operators rely on cheap debt in order to keep operating. And so as we see risk taking in the junk bond space, I think we see then a lot more activity happening in crypto. So here is the notional value of ETH. So that looks like, okay, so it looks like notional value of ETH still is around $5 billion. That hasn't really changed all that much. And Bitcoin, it was around between 6 and 6.4. It's okay. So it's about the same, 6.6. So it's about the same. So we're seeing open interest steadily increase. All right. I noticed that too. It looks like also DVOL, which is their implied volatility of Eth. It looks like it's also leveling out. It's, you know, I think it's trying to make a trend change there. So we'll see if we see some more volatility. I actually welcome some volatility in Ethereum. I would love to see either an opportunity to short at higher levels, or to see Ethereum come down to some of our levels that we've been looking at. Again, 1241.46, as well as that, I'll pull up a chart real quick. So that 1241.46 is a zone of interest for me, for ETH. I told you guys that, you know, I wanted to be patient. It doesn't look like the patient approach is working. Yeah, so exactly. So we were trying to make that higher high here, and I was saying if it comes down back here, makes a higher low, it would be a great opportunity to get long. Well, it bust out of that. So now we're here. If it still goes out to 1241.46, I'd be willing to take an initial starter position. Again, my big buy is not going to happen until ETH Gold gets to around 0.6 or so. Okay, so that's still my plan. My plans don't change on a day-by-day basis, but I am noticing a lot more block trades happening in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Today, it seems like in Ethereum, people are buying those. I believe it was a straddle, so they're going long on volatility on ETH, but in Bitcoin, it seems to be there's some call spread selling. Okay, I'll take a look at the open interest and see if we see that the open interest keeps going up because of this. I think then that would be. You know, and I'll also take a look at that block trade, but we'll see whether or not that was sold to open or sold to buy, and we'll know by the end of the day. And I'll let you guys know next week, and hopefully by next week we'll see some more activity there, and hopefully we can see OI go up, so then we can actually start taking a look at the options chain and seeing, you know, what we can infer on the Ethereum price itself, based on what the options positioning is. All right. Any questions? Today's a short episode. Today, that's all I have. Mainly, it's just this new position. Look at that. It's recovering back already. Look at that. Look at that. Hopefully it recovers more. And then tomorrow it gets back into the range. Boom, we go. All right, hopefully. But we shall see. All right. Any questions, comments, rude remarks? Going once, going twice. All right, then in that case, sold. In that case, we'll wrap up our session of the morning market memo. Our Discord invitation link is in the video description below. Come join our Discord. Be a part of our growing community. There's no sub fees, no paywalls. It's of the people, by the people, for the people. And if you enjoyed our video, hit like, follow, subscribe, comment. Show us some love, baby. All right, I'm going to be back next week. As always, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 30 minutes after the opening bell of New York Stock Exchange, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you guys then. Trade safe.